Hi, my name is Jade Stokes. I live in Corrales, New Mexico, and I was born into the tracking project. John Stokes is my father, and I've been traveling with him and taking part in the work that he does since I was born. And I started out as a little one, attending ceremonies and meetings and going with him when he would teach classes, and grew up to take part in the dream tracking camp for girls and to participate in all of the courses as the work grew around the world, spreading into Brazil and the Philippines and Sweden, Japan. Many of those places I've been fortunate enough to visit. I have now participated in 3 mentor programs. I'm in the process of participating in my 3rd one, and I have become staff for the tracking project, and it's been very interesting to watch the work evolve as I grew up and see it grow and sort of find my place within the organization, because the teachings have just become such a huge part of my life and of the lives of many of the young people in the tracking project, and we find it a little difficult to explain exactly what it is that the tracking project does, because there's so much, and it's really a set of skills that we use each day in our lives.
The double Sinawat, the first hit.
The tracking has really brought us an awareness of ourselves and everything that's in our lives, and that awareness has led to an interest in multiple subjects and a sort of well-rounded approach to our education and our activities. And I find that when we get together and talk or are among, others of our peers who haven't been privy to this training, we find that we are embodying that sort of well-rounded example that the tracking project and all of the staff members exhibit. I think it's our job as young people to be sort of receptacles for this knowledge that has been handed down. A lot of the skills that we've learned are from traditions that have been around for thousands of years, and it's so important to preserve that knowledge and preserve these things that we know just about the natural world, and having a strong connection to it and really knowing how to live in harmony with everything, because we have sort of, strayed from that path, and we're not doing such a good job these days of living in harmony with the earth. But many native traditions have held on to skills that keep us as humans connected to the planet constantly. And when you're in tune with something like that, you can't help but kind of just live your life in tune with it and understand that your needs are no more important than the needs of the trees and the animals, because you have a connection with it and you see their importance. And so everything you do in your life is sort of directed toward preserving that and also meeting your own needs, and it's a great balance to reach, and totally possible. I guess through our connection with nature, there is a great potential for personal development and for each individual to find their talent and their art. And I think each of us is kind of placed here to explore that and to reach the highest level that you desire within your own art. And we're encouraged to, try so many different things, and I've found that the skills that I've learned from the tracking project of, awareness and observation and listening have come in handy in my dance, in music and singing, in arts and crafts. The creativity level is really very high, I think, when we're in tune with the world around us. So I think it's this connection to nature that is so important and really the piece that we're missing. And I think that tracking, which is this art where you're following prints on the ground, or signs that you're seeing, like chews or hairs on, bushes, and that's tracking, hard ground tracking, which is a skill, but through the tracking and through that observation, the use of the imagination to follow an animal, I think we kind of foster this connection to nature because we're open and aware to it, and you have to be aware, you have to be observing your surroundings if you're going to live a life that is sustainable and in balance. And so I just find that it's necessary for us to take the time to connect. When we're disconnected from nature, I think we create a lot of things, a lot of machines and technology that are not sustainable. They're just kind of industries and education systems and economic systems that we see sort of falling apart now because they're not in tune with nature, and we're not, putting the needs of all the other creatures on the planet, at the same priority level as ours. And we have to do that to keep this cycle going, to keep this planet functioning. And so that's why it's so important to foster that connection to nature, because as you observe, you become familiar with the processes that are happening around you every day, just your regional weather patterns. And then through that knowledge of your home and your surroundings, you can see how to position yourself correctly and how to position yourself in the best place to meet your needs but not interfere with the cycles and processes that are happening. And so that's why it's so important to get out there and take the time to sit and watch and see what's going on around you, and that's our connection. And each of us fosters it so that it's very personal. I found that through the tracking project, I have fallen in love with nature and the world, and I have this very, very personal, very powerful desire to save everything here, to save the world, to set in motion and set in place a set of values and systems, and that are sustainable, that will last, for thousands of years, and allow, my children and their children and on through the generations to enjoy this beautiful place that we have here that we should really protect.